So much for agreeing to participate in this oral history project that's documenting Latino life in Ohio. And today is Friday, April 22nd, 2016. Could you please tell us your full name?
My full name is Jose Miguel Torres.
Okay. And where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was actually born here in Lorain,
Okay.
at St. Joseph's Hospital,
Okay.
right on the west side of Lorain. Born and raised here in South Lorain, and pretty much till I left for the military. So.
Okay, great, great. What was your childhood like? What's your heritage, first of all?
My grandparents are Puerto Rican. My
Okay.
dad's Puerto Rican. Everybody
Okay.
came in from Lares.
Okay, great. And what was your childhood like growing up here in Lorain?
It was always, the Hispanic, especially with Hispanics, everybody understands that you have your family, your extended family, then another extended family. So we're always at Wella's house every Christmas, every holiday. My one aunt with her kids alone filled the thing, how many she had, because my mom and dad had me and my sister. Then his sister had, I think, 9. Then my aunt had 6. I mean, it was basically on Christmas we'd get to Wella's house, and it was the whole thing that they would do. And you always had the rice and beans and pateles and everything. And Wella would always say, well, if you're a kid, until you turn a certain age, you only get a half a patele. That's what she used to do with us. And there's all the times we'd be in the house and we get kicked out to go outside and play. We're always a tight family, and we still are to this day, even though they have passed. We're all still a real tight family.
Okay. Did you grow up in a primarily Hispanic, Latino neighborhood?
With me, we bounced around a lot, so it was, but it was basically South Lorain, the whole South Lorain neighborhood, which is, I think Lorain is whatever it will now, 63,000 residents, 25% is Latino. So where we grew up at, right around 32nd Street, 31st, South Lorain, Pearl Avenue, it was all Hispanic. So you had your, you had your Caucasians mixed in every here and there, but primarily it was, it was, and I don't know if you've seen since you've been here, but it's a melting pot of nationalities within the city. But I mean, we grew up pretty much with everybody, but growing up it was basically our families.
Was there any other, aside from Puerto Rican, were you in the same neighborhood with Mexican Americans or Mexicans?
We had a bunch of them. I still talk to some of the guys that knew my grandparents, that know my dad. I still talk with them to this day. So I mean, there was a lot of Mexican Americans. There was Puerto Ricans. Sprinkle in maybe a few Colombians here and there, but as far as it was mainly Puerto Rican and Mexicans.
Okay, great. What are some of those memories that you have from growing up, maybe school or aside from?
Well, see, me growing up, and everybody's going to be able to see this, that I'm real light. I'm fair skinned. I always call myself light skinned. So, growing up, I was always the white boy of the family, so to speak, because my dad's real fair skinned, light complected, but then. It wasn't bad. They would all, tease you, and that's what family does. But then as I got older and I started looking, I was like, wait a minute, they used to pick on me, but their skin tones, they were basically the same as mine. But just the memories is basically Christmas, every holiday, over at Wella's house, and them don't go in the kitchen when she's cooking because she had the big wooden spoon and the big wooden fork on the wall, and everybody knows what that is. You used to run in there, she would take it off and chase you with it. So it was basically just just the ties that Latinos that we have as the pride in our in our nationality and the support that we have for family. So I mean, it was to this day, we, like I said, we still talk, and it's it's probably I'm trying to think, one of the best ones I would have to say would probably be just Wella, because she was so short and all of the grandkids grew past her.
Oh, okay.
So, her being, if we get in trouble, she has to discipline us. And we're like, how are you going to reach us? She'd get on a chair. And she used to mess with us. But, it was all, it was all in fun.
Did you grow up speaking Spanish?
No, I did not.
You did.
I here and there some words, and obviously even to this day, I after the military and everything, I started learning it while I was in and trying to learn, but not fluent.
Was
Still
your
not
abuela, did she speak Spanish?
fluently.
Okay, and
We
she's
used to get yelled at for not
Okay.
speaking Spanish.
okay. So, are your parents both Spanish
No,
speakers?
just my father.
Yes, your father. Okay. What year did you join the military?
I went in right after high school in July of '95.
Okay. What was that experience like?
Basically, I was growing up, and they came here for the steel mill. I wanted to do something different, so I left for the Marine Corps. Basically, probably 20 days after graduation, I didn't want to stick around because growing up, there was people getting in trouble, and I started going down that road, and I saw myself kind of going that route, and I didn't want to go that route. I wanted to go do something positive within the the military, protect this country so that everyone else can be free, so that our kids coming up, all the other grandkids that are still being born or whatever, that they can live, basically in a free nation and understand what, their roots and what people did, Latinos in the military. And so I left right after high school, pretty much.
Was it, so you chose this path because of maybe some of the things that were going on in the neighborhood? Is that right?
It was more than that too.
Okay.
I actually got in trouble. Like I said, I was going down that path. I was one of the lucky ones. They got spared by the judge, so to speak. Said, okay, here, you're going to boot camp. You signed up already. I'm going to dismiss these charges without prejudice. You have to finish boot camp. I finished boot camp. Those charges went by the wayside, and I stayed until I retired. So it's...
How many years were you in?
In 2003, I went to Iraq, and I got blown up real bad. So I retired in '08, so it was right about, I did 13 years, I want to say 45 days, but right around there. It was probably, might have been closer to 14, plus, with the other time, so it was right around there.
So you came back to Lorain permanently in 2008? Is that?
No, I actually stayed. I retired out at Washington, D.C. I stayed in Washington, D.C. working for a private security firm after I retired. And I was running, I was a driver for convoys for the Israeli. I was doing, for the Israeli embassy, I drove for them. And then I guarded different Chinese dignitaries and stuff that came in town. And so I didn't move back here until 2011.
Okay.
When I got done doing that.
Okay. Do you still have a lot of family here in Lorain?
All my family's here.
All of your family here. What are you doing now in the community? I know that you work with Tim, and so what kind of things do you do?
I came back and I did a lot of volunteering. I joined a lot of veterans organizations, primarily VFW, American Legion. Our county chapter for Military Order of Purple Heart, because I did get Purple Heart over there in Iraq. But besides that, I put in an application, and I actually, the judge appointed me, so I'm currently one of the commissioners now for Lorain County Veteran Services. So I basically, 27,000 veterans within the county, they come to my office, with my other employees, and we try to help them out if they're struggling financially, trying to prevent homelessness and stuff along that lines. Also, myself and my buddy Josh, last year we started Veterans Commit Suicide, 22 a day. We started a suicide awareness march that we do every Armed Forces Day, which this year is May 21st. It's coming up. And we just do a walk. We had about 75 people last year. We're looking probably close to 300, 350 this year. And we just raise awareness. Costs nobody nothing. So you just different ties within there. I'm tied in with our councilman in 6th Ward, Angel Arroyo Jr. He held a cleanup of our neighborhood park that needed to be cleaned up. We all went out there with us and the Lorain firefighters, other volunteer people, and just clean up the park so that the kids and the generations coming up don't have to, they can go somewhere they can go where we grew up at pretty much in the park the whole time.
Yeah.
But, it's starting going down a little bit. So, just doing different cleanups within the community that way, just the whole, just trying to stay positive. I talk with a lot of other family members that, thinking about joining, couple cousins going to the Army now. Another cousin just finished his 4 years in the Marine Corps. So it's basically just staying within the community. National Night Out, I'll have, my office will have a van over there so that a lot of Latinos in the community that probably did serve in the military that, whether they read a newspaper or not or don't have internet, we try to get out into the community to let them know that, hey, as a veteran organization, there's services for you that you might not know about or never knew about. So we try to, do everything within the community, whether it's National Night Out or somewhere here. May 7th coming up, we're going to have a vehicle from my office. I'll be driving it. We're going to be in the Cinco de Mayo parade. Just get the name out there just to let, because there's a lot of Latinos that were in the service. And, so just try to get them involved and, and never know what's going to happen, And like I've talked with Tim and them a lot is if I reach one person, I feel like I've done my job. You're not going to be able to reach everybody. You're not going to be able to change everybody. But as long as you can change one person to divert him, I think it's a positive impact.
Do you think, as a Latino yourself, do you think that has helped you reach out to the community in any way?
As far as that, I believe so. Not, because, it's, and like I said, with me being fair-skinned, it's kind of like people see me and, some people thought I was Amish at first, but when they look at me.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of different because they know I'm Puerto Rican, but they know I'm not. Also, the other half isn't. So like with me, it's kind of like I can reach this way, but I can also reach this way. So like me personally, I feel that I have a better, so to speak, gauge on everybody around me. So, I can go to Latino side or I can go to this side and I can actually relate to a lot of people and not just the Latino community. I can relate to everybody.
Have you used your story of how and why you joined the service to, mentor young boys, for example?
I have not yet, but I'm sure that we'll get into that because there's a lot more to my story. I actually, we were talking about it, and I actually had a felony 4 charge over my head. And then went to the judge. Next thing I know, I was in boot camp. So I was like I said, I was heading down that path. Well, I got out of it, and I got saved by, actually, the recruiter at the time in Lorain was Hispanic. So he actually helped me get out, that's not over my head. I never went behind bars. Oh, I've been behind there, but just a tour. But I've never actually been, incarcerated or anything. So, the recruiter was Hispanic. He kind of guided me. So I think, now that I got saved, it's time for me to go out and try to help someone else.
Great. Sorry. Do you work with the immigrant community at all right now at this moment?
We've done a lot of with different things around, different plannings and stuff like that within the community. Normally, me personally, I don't go out there and look for it. If somebody sets something up, if I'm available and I don't have something going on, I'll be the first one to jump on it to go help them in any way I can.
You mentioned that you, so you have your dad that is Puerto Rican and your mom that's Anglo. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned having this strong connection with your abuela and the food and everything else. Is there anything else that relates to that Latino heritage that you remember growing up with that was very important that your family kept it? Could be celebrations or maybe religion or?
There's one that we still, to this day, do that Wella used to do all the time, especially Three Kings. My aunt, she actually holds it at her house now. And, we still put everyone who's passed. We have the photos up there. We have the band. So that's one of the big things that we used to do besides Christmas. Every function we would get together. And, every Sunday you were at church, and growing up, I kind of, one of the big ones is probably Three Kings. The Three Kings celebration, that's one of the ones that really, we still try to get together, all of us on Christmas, but it's kind of like they pass away and then everybody, they kind of go here and there.
Yeah.
But that's probably one of the main ones that we still all get together, no matter who it is.
Are you personally trying to keep some of those traditions and that heritage?
We are within the family. We're trying to keep it only because of which would have been great grandkids and grandkids and people like maybe 39. You got people that my age that already have grandkids.
Yeah.
So trying to keep it going so that they understand where they came from. And I honestly feel that within the community now, it's dying away. Not just within my family, I think within a lot of families. It's not being touched all the way.
Sorry, you said something and have you ever visited Puerto Rico?
I've been there twice.
How was that?
Depends on which time I went. No, it was a great time. It was went out there basically to see where my grandparents came from. Up until I want to say 3 years ago, might have been a little longer than that. We actually still had family over there. I didn't get there, so I didn't get to meet them.
Oh, okay.
So I went after. We went after the fact, just to see kind of where they grew up. What it was about. And it's the same thing that I saw over there, is the same pride that was instilled over here. Because, a lot of them, like my father in particular, they came because of the steel mills. And now that the steel mills are leaving, it's kind of like everything's going, going by the wayside now. But, everything I saw over there was kind of, if you could put a village in my grandmother's yard, that's pretty much what I saw over there. Wow. In her house.
That's great. That's great that she was able to do that here in Lorain. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this interview about Latinos, your experience as a Latino here in Ohio or in the military?
Well, in the military, I'd probably go with military. In the military at first, like I said, I get in, they're like, Torres, I always got picked on, you're not Hispanic and this and this. And then after, it got injured in Iraq, it was funny because the San Juan Herald actually printed an article that I actually still have to this day in my collection of stuff, where I was actually the first person of Hispanic descent or Puerto Rican descent that was injured in the war. That's actually printed in the San Juan Herald.
Wow.
So they did run a story over there, and for my name to be printed in over there. So it was kind of, it kind of got to me a little bit.
Yeah, that was acceptance, right?
Did it reached over there? So
I obviously you don't have these things today, but if I come back or something, I would like to have like a picture or something of those things that you have.
I have them all. I have all they're pretty much in a line in a book.
Yeah.
It says San Juan Herald. It shows everything. First one of Puerto Rican. I kept everything. The upstairs of my house is basically, I've been going through it. It's just tore apart. Everything that I'm keeping, trying to put in frames, and everything along those lines.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for this interview.
All right, thank you.
And good luck with everything that you're doing, the great job you're doing with veterans.
Thank you.